I was away and there were no YouTube videos from me, I think a month or something. I'm really sorry for that because I'm working on a project right now, and very special one for me, for my life, and it will be life-changing project, so I have to concentrate on that. And if you're concentrated to some part of the life, the other parts may get distracted, and YouTube is one of them. But I will try to keep my videos as consistent as I can. And today I will be talking about my new camera. Actually, it's not new anymore, but we can consider it as a new camera still, X-T4, which is recording me right now. And there is one specific reason that I moved from Nikon D500 to X-T4, not X-T3, not a Canon camera, not a Sony camera, but X-T4 specifically. The reason behind it is about Fujifilm's marketing strategy, I guess. Let's roll that intro and... It was quick, isn't it? This is all about this channel. Quick, specific, and fast. So make sure you subscribe, okay? For some new videos, some other videos. So for my new project that is upcoming in next months. And I'm so enthusiastic about it. And believe me, you won't regret if you subscribe to this channel. So make sure you do subscribe and like this video if you like. Or if you dislike, it's a bad news for me because, you know, YouTube algorithms and all those stuff. I started photography with Nikon. D90 was my very first camera that I used, actually, that I borrowed from one of my friends. Then I started everything with it. I felt in love with the holding of the camera. I mean, the way it feels my hand, and I just liked everything about Nikon after that because the grips always felt fantastic, and ergonomically I never complained anything bad about it. But last Nikon was D500, which is the flagship DSLR of Nikon in terms of APS-C sensor. Actually, that's it. I moved to mirrorless Fujifilm X-T4 system. And the main reason behind it is this camera does everything. I mean, what else could you ask for? All the other brands, Sony has S line for their video cameras, and Sony has R and A7 III, 4 is coming, and all those stuff for photography. And actually there is no dedicated hybrid camera that does video and photography both great in Sony. And if you look at a Canon, I mean, come on. You have seen R5. R5 is overheating issues. It turns off after 15 minutes or so. These are all software-based problems. Of course, Canon knows to put all their knowledge on a camera, and they may produce top-end camera that may rule them all, but Canon doesn't do that. Canon just, I mean, think of smartphones, iPhone, Samsung, and all those companies. They don't put all the improvements to their phones. They just develop it time after time. I mean, a year, iPhone 10, 11, iPhone 12 probably upcoming. And those phones will have some improvements, one for each. But here, Fuji, I really think that Fuji just thought we could put whatever we have into a camera and build a perfect camera for everyone that wants to shoot both video and photo. Well, let's go back to the R5 issue. Canon puts R5 an 8K video recording feature, and that is fantastic. That is like the future of these filmmaking industry, this YouTube industry and all those stuff. But I mean, it's not that usable. The usability is very important for a camera. I mean, when you hold it, you just want to shoot, and you just want to rely on the camera that you're shooting with. So you just push the recording button and you're in the middle of something and it says, yeah, overheating. Come on. I cannot go and just wait till it gets cooled down and then take it and then just catch that moment that I already missed. It's impossible. So Canon does this so that they can put some new features to their upcoming R5S and all other cameras that Canon is planning to produce in the coming years. In this case, Fuji does something better here. I mean, there were X-T3, actually X-T4 has the exact same sensor with the X-T3, and it comes with, I don't know, 500-ish kind of cheaper money, but X-T4 is bam, an instant buy for me, an instant pre-order for me. Since it's just announced, I was just blown away because, come on, in X-T3 there were no flip screen. I can record myself and I can just, hey, I can just see myself. I don't need to use a Ninja, Odomus and the other screens just to see myself. I don't need that. I can use my flip screen, I can see myself. I'm looking at myself right now. It's perfect. And all Fuji users, I mean video users, video shooters, asked Fuji to put a flip screen to their cameras. And Fuji done that. They fixed it. And this is a mirrorless camera, okay? So it has an EVF and a live screen. It all takes our battery life, and a mirrorless camera has to be light, has to be, I mean, compact. But all mirrorless cameras had and are having problems with their battery life. But Fuji developed a all new battery so that they can last for a whole day of shooting video or stills or whatever you do. And in X-T3 their battery was not that good, but in X-T4 the battery life doubled actually, so it is very convenient. So I can just rely on it when I'm shooting a video. And let me give you a secret, I never bought another battery, so I'm just relying on this battery right now. And this camera can charge itself on the camera so that I can also record myself while it's getting charged. It's also another good point for X-T4. When we look at X-T3, there was a problem with autofocus, but right now it's improved. The last thing that Fujifilm impressed me is 6.5 stop IBIS. I mean, it's sometimes 5 stops, but it's all according to the lens you're using. And if the lens also has a stabilization inside, the camera also has it, so it will bring you a 6.5 stops of, I mean, it's so handy. It's so handy, and you don't need to use a gimbal. I mean, a gimbal is always better, but handhold video shooting is good, is very good in X-T4. Also, this camera has a dedicated panorama switch, which I find so handy because in other cameras you just shoot and go to Photoshop, Lightroom and combine the photos that you took and make a panoramic photo. This is not so handy. This takes so much time, and Fujifilm X-T4 in its interface makes some things easier than other cameras and useful. So this was an instant buy for me. I'm planning to shoot out some other videos talking about mirrorless cameras versus DSLRs and also APS-C versus full frame. Let me give you a clue. APS-C wins over full frame for me, and also mirrorless wins over DSLR. So the other giants of the industry of photography and cinematography, this camera industry, Canon, Nikon, Sony, Fuji, these cameras, Lumix, these cameras, these companies has a market strategy that makes them improve their cameras one by one. But this camera right here, X-T4, feels like Fujifilm put everything they got into this camera to make it a perfect cinema and photography camera. I mean, they also have dedicated switch buttons between stills and video. this is a good sign that they are thinking this camera is a hybrid, ultimate hybrid camera, state of art. If Fujifilm also had a marketing strategy similar to the other camera companies, they would go their XH system as their video-centric models and X-T system as their photo-centric models. But no, XH1 had IBIS and it was looking like a camera for video only. I mean, stills did not work that good when we compare it to X-T3, but X-T3 were good in stills when we compare it to XH1, but here XH4 included IBIS and this just finishes XH1, and XH3 is still a good camera for both video and stills. I mean, but if you're gonna use the advantage of IBIS and up to 6.5 stops of IBIS, you're definitely gonna want to upgrade to X-T4 if you're using X-T3, and I recommend it because the grip of X-T4 looks very similar to X-T3, but it fits to hand perfectly in a better way, and you definitely will think about moving from X-T3 to X-T4, aka you will want to upgrade to IBIS and a hybrid camera that may do both stills and video. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe to this channel because I will be posting videos every Sunday. Actually, I will try to do it at least, and in these videos you will be able to see advantages of some cameras, disadvantages of other cameras, some new techniques, some Premiere Pro and Photoshop tricks and all those stuffs. And also I have a project that is upcoming and you will like it. I bet you will like it. If you won't like it, I will just do whatever you want, okay? You will be so much enthusiastic about it, just like I am. So make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, and that's where I'm gonna leave it. Take care of yourselves. Goodbye.